Here we are at another episode of Drawing at the Zoo. We're going to draw the water monitor. So here I am all equipped and ready to draw this amazing animal. Just look at it, it's very colorful actually. I thought this water monitor didn't have that much color, but as I was looking at it, it's quite yellowish and it has quite bright colors on its body and on its head especially. And look at this tongue and that stretched body. My first impression was maybe it looks a little bit like a snake. And the Burgers Zoo, of course, also asked me to draw as much as possible about the habitat. Look at his head. About its habitat, so how does he live? And of course, it moves around on the surface, but it also is in the water, of course. In Dutch, it is the watervaraan, and the water monitor. Well, the word says enough. Look at that head. So beautiful. It lives a lot in the water and looks for its prey also. And they put a few mice for him down, so we hoped to get him out of the water, but it stayed a lot in the water. But I can actually just see his head and its beautiful body partially. So maybe I will make my drawing about that. And it's just, I love this animal, and it can stretch up until 2 meters long, so it's a big reptile actually, and the head especially is very magnificent. So that is what I'm going to really draw. I want to capture his head and maybe just popping out of the water. Let's just see what happens when I'm back at home. We will see. So here we are back at the studio where we're going to draw the water monitor. And it's quite an amazing animal. And what struck me the most was its yellow color. And what I want to do is, I got a reference picture. Thank you, Burgers Zoo, for the reference picture. And I angled it a little bit more. I want to draw this water monitor, or it's also called a lizard. It's a lizard species. I want to put his head just out of the water. And then its claw, which is reaching out to the rock here just above the water level. And the rest of the body will be underneath the water. And when I was visiting the zoo and studying this amazing animal, it didn't want to come out of the water much. But I did get a very good and close view of it. And it kind of makes me think about the dragon. When I see its head, should it have some pointy horns or something and long teeth, it could be a great dragon. And what is also very nice is the way that the neck is angled. It has this long neck, and it has that wrinkle just in front of the ear, and the ear is placed lower than the eye itself. So it's oddly shaped, but it's quite an amazing way that this animal is built up, and I think it's very well. It's kind of like a fairy tale or something. It's like a diamond in the water. So I also want to draw in the environment, of course. And he has a warm space that they keep him in. It's about 28 degrees. So I'm drawing in a little bit of the rocks which surrounds this water monitor. And of course water. It it hunts its prey from the water. So that I really want to have that in there. And the whole setup I'm doing with the charcoal pencil. And I explicitly use the charcoal because I want to put in color later on with the pastel pencils. So that's why I do not use the graphite, because the graphite is greasy, and then the pigments of my pastel pencils will not go onto the paper anymore. It will make my paper greasy. And I'm using the charcoal paper by Strathmore. It's the light blue kind of paper. They have all kinds of colors in those. So that's nice. And this is that claw that is just coming out of the water. He's kind of like crawling out or something. And you can see all the scales that are on the claw. And I do not want to draw in each and every scale. I'm just going to draw the feel of scale going on the body, on the foot of this animal, and its head will be in the light area, in the sun area, and the rest of the body is kind of like in the shadow, and that's what I want to express. So this is I'm just drawing a composition which could be nice for the viewer to watch. Just made it up myself. And of course the surrounding is very important too, so that this lizard will blend into its surrounding. I'm trying to draw it as accurate as possible, and as naturally in its natural environment. And it has also those loops, just like a bandana, underneath its head. This is the ear, this is the eye. He has bright eyes. And once I'm happy with my setup sketch, I simply take a big brush, and then I brush in those pigments, and the parts that need to be brightened up with the pastel pencils, I clean up a little bit with the eraser pencil. In that way I do not get any charcoal pigments blending with my pastel pigments. So this is the front here, all in the shadow. And then it's time for bringing in the color. And you can see it's very yellow. And I thought, to bring out that yellow, for the water I will use a greenish blue, just a greenish blue, to make the water pop out. And it's a still water, so there's no running there water. It's just a still smooth water surface. And this is the rock formation here. I will brighten that up a little bit with the white. And then I'm using a very, very dark gray, the darkest gray I could find. And I'm simply pointing out some dots for all the scales that are going around on its body. And I'm not going to draw in each and every scale because that would take me forever. So I merely suggest scale by putting in some dots here and there. And then I simply use the lemon yellow to point out the brightness of that those yellow areas. And because I wanted to draw this lizard with only its head in the sun, then I can simply put in the most of color simply on the head itself. And I also see a little bit of red and pink in the snout and in the ear area. So I put that in too, make it a little bit more lively. You can just see the blood running veins through its thick skin. Well, furthermore, I try to point out the direction of the scale, which seemed to bend around a little bit. And for the lower part, I simply do not use any yellow anymore. Then I take the yellow ochre, and I simply just draw in a thin layer of yellow ochre. And here is the dark, those are the dark markings here. So as you can see, I'm not drawing in all those scales. I'm merely suggesting the scales. And for the lower part of my drawing, which is nearest by to the viewer, I keep away from color. I just keep that all in the shadow, just like I did actually with the giraffe. I also applied this method. Well, scales going on. This is that claw. I make a little bit of a reflection here of the nail on the claw. This is the front area of that little rock. And I'm putting in not any colors, but I do put in a little bit of detail. And then to make the head pop out even more, I simply draw in a little bit of white. And this is the reflection of the sun upon the water, the brightest area. And this actually makes the head pop out even more. Then I can see the lower jaw catches some light. So I apply the white at the latest stadium. And here on top of the head and on top of the neck. And then, my drawing is finished. So maybe you will give this a try, and then I will wish you all the happiness and fun with it. And you can find the whole process, about 2 hours it took me to draw this amazing animal, on my Patreon page, of course. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next tutorial.